Alright, folks, welcome in, welcome in. My name is Dave Ream, and you are watching Dream Plays. We're going to be doing a little bit of best ball drafting this evening. Going to hop into a Puppy 2, and let's see where we end up drafting out of. Alright, waiting for it to fill up. She's filling up right now. Alrighty. Let's see. Hopefully for something, want something in the first 5 spots. Hopefully you get 1 or 2. Get ourselves a little bit of a, I'd like a little bit of a Gibbs share for this team. I'd like to start off with a little bit of a Lions vibe, but we'll see. We'll see what the fantasy gods have for us this evening. And we're drafting out of the 1 spot. What luck did we get? That is great. Good shit there. Good shit there. So yeah, we're gonna likely start this off with a little bit of Gibbs. Boom. And we're off. Let's see what the 2 slot takes. Probably Bijan. Pretty straightforward. Yep, Bijan goes 2. I mean, straightforward pick so far. Chase 3, straightforward. Puka 4. Just going ADP right now. CD Lamb goes at 9. James Cook at 10. Justin Jefferson at 11. Surprised not to see Genty go. Generally, you see Genty go a little earlier than this, so I think people are pretty high on Genty this year. Changing up from Geno and that horrendous coaching staff last year. Second-year running back. He's likely going to go running back of his first 2 picks at the turn here. Goes Saquon Barkley. A Genty Saquon team to start at the 12 hole. Chase Brown goes at the 2-3. This has been a pretty straightforward draft so far. So let's start thinking about what we're going to do at the 2-3 turn at the 1 slot. We've got Jahmyr Gibbs. So we're going to try to work on getting the line stack going. Maybe F around with a little Isaac Tesla later on in the draft. Detroit has week 17 against Chicago, so I might try to get some Bears on this team. Little week 17 correlation bringbacks. A.J. Brown going at the 2-9. He's been moving up in ADP since the news of him officially going to New England broke. Jeremiah Love at the 2-10. And I am up. We are most likely going to go, I think we're going to go Brees. Take Brees there, and probably a receiver here. I'm leaning Pickens or T. Higgins or Tet. I'm going to go Pickens. Get us a cowboy. So, yeah, Brees. Just a good running back. We freaking have all seen it. The guy's going to be the workhorse. They just gave him a new contract. He's going to stay in New York, stay on the Jets. And I think they're just going to run him to the ground, you know, and he's a really good running back. We all know this. So I think he's going to do pretty well as my running back 2 with Gibbs. I really like this starting here. And then Pickens showed that he is a true stud last year. We all knew it. We all knew he had the talent. And this year we're going to hope that he builds off of last year, is a little more comfortable with Dak, and the sky's the limit if there is an injury with CD. So even if CD's healthy, he's still a solid bet. So I like everything about that. I like the start we got going so far. So we're going to try to make sure we build out some stacks, maybe get a little week 17 correlation going. But yeah, what do we got going on here? We got Trey McBride went right after me at the 3-2. Went Alavi, Rice, ETN, Devonta Smith. We got the gentleman in the 7-hole going 3 straight running backs. High T start. Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams. I don't know what I feel about the big dog this year. I'm usually fading him, but he kind of showed everyone up last year. But I don't have much of the guy. I don't trust him. One of these days, he's just going to hit a brick wall. Josh Allen goes 4-1. First QB off the board. Oh, wow. The guy in the 7-hole goes 4 running backs to start with Jacobs in the 4th. Getting the ADP fall there. That could be just a hyper fragile 4 running back team there. That would be what I would do with him. And if Jacobs if Jacobs is a hit and doesn't end up having to go to jail or is suspended, that team could be good. We're about to be up at the 4-5 turn. We need a wide receiver. We got Devonta Adams sitting here at our face, or David Montgomery, Bucky Irving, Colston Loveland. I think we're going to grab Adams for another wide receiver. There we go. And then why not? Let's work on this Lion stack, and I think we're going to go Jameson Williams. Come on down, J-Mo. All right, so through 5, we got Gibbs, Hall, Pickens, Adams, and J-Mo. Got 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers. Going to have to start thinking a little bit about when we're going to snag some quarterbacks here. We got Dak, who is ADP right around 80. That would mean if we want to get him for sure, we would have to take him at the next turn here for us. Montgomery, Loveland goes after us. I was contemplating Loveland there. I'm a fan of his. I think he's going to have a great year this year, building off of the end of the season last year. It could potentially be number 1 tight end this year. Bowers is going to be hard to overtake, but definitely a possible outcome. Bucky going in mid-5th. Not really sure what to think about Bucky with the shoulder injury and sitting out up until this point, but I mean, there's still a lot of summer left. He could easily get some good news about the shoulder, and then he's shooting back up. I've been taking Bucky here and there, beginning of the 5th, mid-5th when I can, trying to buy the dip with Bucky. Rome after Bucky, Mar Jackson, Tootin, DJ Moore goes, Carnell Tate, Jadarian Price, Christian Watson at the turn, Alec Pierce, Chuba Hubbard. Goff is pick 106, so we could take him the next come around, most likely. So this pick will likely be Dak and then someone else, maybe a running back. I've been taking a whole lot of Warren. That might be the guy that we take coming up here for us. So Dak and Warren, maybe Ramondre or Pollard. But let's just see who falls to us. Jaden Daniels goes at the 6-8. All right, so it's up to us. We can get Dak and Warren. We'll start with Warren. Take him. Boom, there we go. Jalen Warren, and then we're going to go Dak Prescott right here. Boom. So I like that turn. Team so far, Jahmyr Gibbs, Breece Hall, George Pickens, Devonta Adams, J-Mo, Warren, and Dak Prescott. Sweet. So we got that Dak pick and stack, which is great. And then we picked up Warren, who I think is going to be a little better than he was last year. They got rid of Kenny Gainwell. Aaron Rodgers is going to want someone to dump off to. He has that, that experience with Warren, Dowdle coming to the team. I just think Warren's probably going to, especially at the beginning of the year, kind of take the majority of the work there. So we'll see how that plays out. I like it as the running back 3 for this team. Let's try to figure out or set up some week 17 correlation with the Cowboys. That would be the Giants. Potentially snag some guys from there. Metcalf, Caleb getting stacked up with a Doomsday to that guy who went 4 running backs to start. His 2 wide receivers are Rome Doomsday, Marvin Harris. Not exactly how you want to start your wide receiver room, but, hopefully those 4, well, not hopefully for me, but that guy's hoping that his running backs kind of make up for that, and he's able to, make up for lost ground here. But nice getting that stack for him for the Bear stack. After Caleb goes Sutton, Herbert, Addison, Wilson, Kraft, Reed, Purdy, Harvey, Quentin Johnson, Dowdle. There's the boy Dowdle we were talking about. Godwin, Lawrence, Corum. And what are we going to do for this turn right here? We know we want to take the boy Goff because he's not going to come back to us. We could go super Lions heavy and go Laporta Goff and put it all in on the Lions here. I'm thinking that might be what we do. I don't really have very many shares of Laporta, and we said to start this that we're going to try to go heavy with the Lions, so why don't we do that? We'll do Laporta and Goff if neither of them go right here, which I doubt will be the case, but we shall see. Mahomes went at the 8-10. A naked Mahomes, which is interesting. All right, Jackson Dart goes. We're going to go Laporta. Boom. And then Goff. Boom. Sweet. So now we have a shitload of Lions players. We got Gibbs, Jamo, Laporta, and Goff. So we got Goff with the triple stack. And then we got Dak and George Pickens for our other stack. I'm liking how this is looking. Next turn, we will probably want to grab a receiver and either 2 receivers or a receiver and a running back. We'll see who's available to us when it gets back to us. And then maybe even grab someone from the Giants or someone from the Bears for that week 17 correlation, but we'll just see who's available. We'll be fluid. We'll be water on this one. All right, making the 9-10 turn. Love goes stacked with Reed, Kraft, and Watson. Wow, triple stack for that guy right there. I like that. He's got Neighbors and Jadarian Price. Started it off with Genty and Barkley. I'm liking that team out of the 12 hole. I'm liking it quite a bit. He rounds it out with KC Concepcion at the 10-1. Jonathan Brooks has been a riser. Gosh, it's hard to click Jonathan Brooks. I've clicked him quite a bit, but he hasn't even really played in the NFL, and it's been 2 seasons. And I see the upside there, but it's a scary click. But could really pay off. We shall see, though. We could get another tight end here stacked with Dak with Jake Ferguson. But we need wide receiver depth. There's Romeo Dubs, Khalil Shakir. God, I don't like either of those names very much at all. Travis Hunter. That'll be really pulling him up, though. I think we're going to have to take our medicine and just take a Romeo Dubs, even though I'm not liking that really at all. So we take Romeo Dubs, and I don't know. I think we're going to go with the Ferg and get that stack. Alrighty, not exactly my favorite turn right there. But I think we took our medicine with the Dubs pick. You know, A.J. Brown coming to the Pats. You don't love that for Dubs, but someone's going to have to be the wide receiver too there, right? And why can't it be Dubs? Ferg, generally as a producer fantasy-wise, when somebody's hurt, either CD or Pickens. But it was a stack, and there was correlation with Pickens and Dak there, so why not take him? And I wasn't really liking any of the receivers or running backs there. Aaron Jones was an option. As you can see, he went, but I have a lot of Aaron Jones, so I'm trying a bit not to take him, even though that may be dumb, but I think he might be my most drafted running back, so you don't love to see that from an old like Aaron Jones, who is injury prone. Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Stephon Diggs go. JCM goes. There goes Khalil Shakir. Kincaid, 2 Buffalo Bills back to back. Tyrone Tracy, and we're going to be getting here to the 11-12 turn. Cam Ward goes. Now, what do we think about getting a third tight end? Does that make sense for us? We could get a late Geno Smith, possibly, to link up with our boy Brees. He's going around 180-ish. We got some time before then, but we would probably have to take him at the 15th, start of the 15th. All right, Pacheco goes. Tyler Shuck goes at the 12-3. Isaiah Likely. That is someone who I have not been clicking. I'm kind of afraid of the Giants a little bit. They could be that fun team that we watched last year while freaking they were healthy. But they could also be trash. But, I'm kind of hoping for the former with Scatabo and all those boys going crazy. Neighbors hopefully won't start the season on PUP, but that seems to be where everyone's trending. All right, we're coming up here at the 12-13 turn. Let's see what we're working with. We probably should go wide receiver, running back if we can. Not a whole lot out there for us. Not a whole lot. People like Juwan Jennings and Debo, Fawn Stribling. I think we're gonna go. Juwan Jennings, even though I don't love it. Take our medicine. 2 wide receiver medicine picks in a row. Let's see here. I think we're just going to go Debo. I hate it, but we're going to do it. Really pulled him up, but he's going to sign somewhere, and then he's going to start shooting up the draft boards. All right, so the team so far is a 2-3-6-2 as we sit here. We're probably going to lay off the gas a little bit with the wide receivers now that they're sitting at 6. We are strong up top with the running backs, but probably need to start putting some investment there. But so far we are Gibbs, Brees Hall, Pickens, Devontae Adams, J-Mo, Jalen Warren, Dak Prescott, Sam Laporta, Goff, Romeo Dubs, Jake Ferguson, Juwan Jennings, Debo Samuel. And I know that was a pull up on ADP for Debo, but it just felt right. It felt like something I needed to do. There wasn't a whole lot left for me. But okay, that's kind of what you have to do though when you're sitting at the turns. Is sometimes you got to really reach on people. And at the end of the day, you want to be looking at a team that you like to look at. And we already had Juwan Jennings and Dubs on the squad, so a little bit of Debo in my life, and hopefully it'll be good CLV at the end of the day, but who knows? It's making the turn here at 13 and 14. Brennan Strange goes. Oh, and Gino goes. What are we sitting with quarterback-wise? Bryce Young, Fernando Mendoza, Aaron Rodgers. I guess we could do Aaron Rodgers stack with Warren. That's a possibility. Maybe get Jeremy Bernard as well, or freaking Darnell Washington late. Could be a good old possibility for us. All right, halfway through the 14th round. And we got Stribling going at 14-6. Tajay Spears, that was potentially someone I was going to take. Really hate seeing all these running backs going. We do need them pretty badly. We may end up having to take Dylan Sampson here, which you don't love to see, but it's either him, Sharp, Emmett Johnson, Kamara, Marshawn Lloyd, something along those lines. Okay. Let's see here. We might. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take Dylan Sampson. And then I think we are going to have to take Rodgers because he's going to go if we don't. So let's take Rodgers. Another interesting turn there. Not loving it entirely, but we set up the stack with Warren and Rodgers. We could backstack him a little bit if we wanted to. With Jeremy Bernard, Pat Freiermuth, or Washington. So, well, there goes Bernard right there. Wasn't likely he was ever going to come back to us, but we can likely grab one of these tight ends for our third tight end on the way at one of the remaining picks. AJ Barner goes at 15-6. The boy Tesla. We didn't get Tesla. We already had a ton of lines, though. You hate to see it, though. You hate to see it. Just had already taken a bunch of wide receivers and had to, unfortunately, take Sampson there. We really didn't love to see this RB stretch here with Spears, Tucker, and Robinson go all back-to-back there. I really would have liked him to take either Tucker or Spears there. But Sampson will do, and maybe we'll stack on a Marshawn Lloyd at the end and bank on Josh Jacobs having suspension issues or jail time or something like that. But we shall see. We shall see how this plays out. Gunnar Helm goes 15-10. There goes Freiermuth. Well, this might be a Darnell Washington team for us then. Get the big boy on the squad. Love our big boys. Nothing quite like watching Darnell Washington run over some homies. Ray Davis goes at the 16-1. Contingency on James Cook there. Did he go Cook? that guy? He did not. Cook went to the guy out of the 10 hole. Jerry Jeudy, Calvin Ridley, Tank Bigsby. Not bad. Not a bad pick there with Tank. We got 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 6 receivers, and 2 tight ends. So we probably want to get one of each, but we'll just see who we have options for. I think we're going to leave it up to the last round for Darnell Washington and just cross our fingers and hope. And then at this turn, we're going to go wide receiver and a running back. And I think it'll likely be, I think we're going to go Dontavian Wicks and Emmett Johnson, or Chris Basil and Emmett Johnson. Could throw Kamara in there. Could grab a Darnell Mooney for correlation with the Cowboys. These are all valid picks. Could grab an A.D. Mitchell for the correlation with Brees. But I think we're going to go Wicks. The guy's shown that he can ball. Just, had a weird situation with the Packers. And then Emmett Johnson, Kamara, Marshawn Lloyd. You know what? Let's go Emmett Johnson. I don't have much Emmett Johnson. Boom. There we go. Get a Chief on this squad. Shout out to the boy Ryan. Big Chiefs fan, one of my buddies. All right. And now we're just essentially waiting to take our boy Darnell Washington. Jacoby goes 17-11. We're here at the 17-18 turn. Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer goes. Start of the 18th. What's he going to end his team with? What is he doing here? He's got a little bit of a Buffalo end of the draft squad going with Ray Davis and Josh Palmer. Douglas going 18-1, a little bit of Miami action. Deshaun Watson, bad guy there, bad guy. Goes 18-2. Washington, Vegas's rookie running back, going 18-4. And we're just about to be good to pick up our boy Washington to end this squad. We're up in 3 picks with the last pick of this puppy to draft. Trying to make $5 turn into 100,000. Gosh, would that be nice? Would that be nice? All right. 18-11's going. We're up next. Hopefully he doesn't take Washington. Doubt he will. But you never know in these things. You never know. And he doesn't. We get the boy Washington, the big boy. Come on down to the squad. Way to end the draft there. What a way. With the big boy to run over everybody else like a bus. Darnell, you are the man. All right, well, let's run through this squad real quick. Our QB room is Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, and Aaron Rodgers. At running back, we got Jahmyr Gibbs, Breece Hall, Jalen Warren, Dylan Sampson, and Emmett Johnson. I would say running back room is probably where we're the thinnest, but we're really going to have to rely on Gibbs and Hall. And then hopefully Warren has a good year, and we won't have to worry about Sampson or Emmett Johnson, and can just be pleasantly surprised if either of them do anything. Wide receiver room, we got Pickens, Devonta Adams, J-Mo, Romeo Doubs, Juwan Jennings, Debo, Dontavian Wicks. Tight end room is Laporta, Ferguson, Washington, the big boy. Overall, I like the team. We did well with stacking, um, correlating quarterbacks with receivers and more. Massive Detroit stack with Goff, Gibbs, JMO, and Laporta. And then we got the Dak stacked up with Pickens and Jake Ferguson. And then kind of had to audible to Aaron Rodgers and got him stacked up with Jalen Warren and Darnell Washington. So overall, 3 quarterbacks with a couple stacks, if not more, for each of them. And yeah, 3-5-7-3. I think that is not too bad. And, at the very least, I think it is a team that could advance. We can shoot over real quick to a couple teams that seem interesting. The gentleman out of the 7 hole that started with 4 running backs. He went Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs to start. And then let's see how he built out his wide receiver room. Rome, Marvin Harrison, Godwin, Khalil Shakir, Stribling, Tank Dell, Bell, and Bryant. As you would expect, the wide receiver room is a little lackluster. But, if Rome ends up being the guy in Chicago, which, seems unlikely with Burden and Love, Lind, but you never know. Maybe Rome ends up being that dude, and this team he's building is great. Marvin Harrison, people haven't loved what they've been seeing from him the last couple years. Maybe he is all right. I don't see it happening. Godwin has shown that he can be that dude. Coming off an injury last year, he did end the season strong with the last game he played, but we'll see if he can get back to his true self this year. And maybe Godwin and a Doomsday do what this guy needs. Not a huge fan of the Shakir pick. Stribling, who knows what a rookie in the Shanahan offense can do. Tank Dell might be a 0. Could be okay. That's a big wild card there. And then Bell and Bryant, couple. It could just be 3 zeros at the end there for him. So, I'm not a huge fan of that team there, but we'll see. Interesting team here at the 12 hole. Ashton Genty, Saquon Barkley, Neighbors, Josh Allen, Jadarian Price, Christian Watson, Tucker Kraft, Jaden Reed. Love to stack with those 3. Casey Concepcion, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Coker, Brennan Strange, Jalen Naylor, Trey Harris, Ray Davis, Palmer, and Douglas. This guy has 10 wide receivers and 4 RBs, the 4th of which is Davis. So he's really relying on Genty, Barkley, and Price to do the majority of the work for him this year, and then went with 2 QBs and 2 tight ends. So if this guy advances, could be a solid squad. But anyways, that was a whole lot of fun, and I appreciate all of you joining in with me, and hopefully we'll see you guys here in the near future. Y'all have a great one. Peace.